Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for a Michael's class with Plaid.
Hey guys, welcome. Happy Friday.
So today we're going to show you how to make some unique potted plant holders with just some various things that you probably already have around your house. So Kira is going to be moderating in the comments section today as I teach you all how to do this craft along with me today. So if you have any questions, make sure to comment them in the Q&A and Kira can answer them herself or relay them over to me.
Yep. And we're going to do a giveaway at the end. So from your comments, we'll pick somebody at random and we'll send you guys some Mod Podge and some of the product that Emma's using. So definitely want to stick around.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and I'll start telling you what you're going to need to follow along with me today. So of course you're going to need your plant pots. So the fun thing about this craft is you can, if you want, just use some of the things that you already have around your house to make your own little, potted plants. So you can use, as you can see, we used a tin can. And also Michael's has some really great surfaces. Michael's has a lot of different terracotta pots. They have a lot of different vessels that you can decoupage, decorate to your liking to put your, plant babies in. So we have the terracotta pot. And then last but not least, I'm super excited about this one. We have a paint can. So if you have just done, renovated a room in your house, and you're a painter, you're always, decorating your home like me, then you definitely have one of these lying around. And you can just empty out and then decorate the outside in and then put a super cute pot inside. And then of course, we'll be using our Mod Podge Outdoor. So if you've never used Mod Podge Outdoor before, make sure you stick around. We'll be talking about the benefits of it and why we love it so much. Next, of course, you're going to use your Folkart multi-surface paint. And the reason we're using Folkart multi-surface as opposed to Folkart acrylic is because it's made for indoor and outdoor use. And of course, it's multi-surface. So, we're using a variety of different surfaces today. So that's why we use multi-surface paint today. And of course, you're going to need just your scrapbook paper. Michael's has a lot of really awesome cardstock and scrapbook paper pads. So, whatever you have at home, whatever is your favorite from Michael's, and then whatever fabric you have in your home. So we got this really cute fabric scrap from Michael's, and this pot was actually a bandana from Michael's. So, be really creative. It's up to you. You can use whatever fabric you want for these projects. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to break out my Folkart magenta. I want to look at this, guys, because we're going to be making him first. And I'm going to apply some magenta straight onto my palette paper.
Yep, and so while you're doing that, people were asking, will regular Folkart acrylic work? And absolutely it will, but if you're going to put these pots or any of these projects outdoors, you'll want to protect them. So you can give them a good coat of the Mod Podge Outdoor or Mod Podge Ultra would be two great things that you could protect your projects with if you're just using a non-multi-surface paint.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm doing is I'm just base coating my tin can. And you can paint that lip if you want, or you can leave it raw metal. I kind of like the raw metal look, so I'm going to leave it raw. And there's nothing special to this. I'm just going around my can and just base coating it.
Yep, and like I said, there's some questions about what you would use to protect your project if you are going to put it outdoors. So I would say Mod Podge Outdoor is great, and Emma's going to be talking about that. And Mod Podge Ultra works great also. And that is a new formula. It is Mod Podge, but it comes in a spray bottle. So it is also indoor, outdoor.
Yeah.
So either one of those are great options to protect your projects. And did you prime these, Emma? These cans, somebody's asking.
Yeah, great question. That's a good point. Before this class, I should have mentioned that I just wiped this metal can down just with some isopropyl alcohol, just some rubbing alcohol. It just cleans my surface and allows my paint to adhere to my metal really smoothly.
Yep. So alcohol is great on glass or metal, just to make sure there's no residue, and it also gets off if there's any stickers or if you're upcycling any label residue left. That's a great thing, just to wipe it off real quick.
Yeah.
But it's multi-surface, so it's going to adhere to so many different surfaces that you won't have a problem with it actually adhering. Like it's made for metal, wood, terracotta, glass.
Absolutely. You guys, let me know what is the weirdest thing that you've ever put a plant in before. We were, trying to come up with unique things that we could use for this class today and try to show you guys some unique little vessels you could put your plants in and how you could decorate them. But I want to know, you guys, if there's anything interesting that you've used as a plant pot before. Okay, so now I'm just going to hit this with a blow dryer just so we can move on to our next step. Do we have any unique plant pots, Kira?
Let me see here on the chat. Candle holders, mason jars, cocktail glasses.
Ooh, love that.
Somebody used toys. They used their son's big construction trucks. So probably like big Tonka trucks.
That's awesome. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh, and
so
someone asked about drainage. So you could drill through the bottom and create drainage, or you could also just use some stones at the bottom.
That's a great idea.
For
So
drainage.
if I wanted to create a hole in the bottom, I could either use a screwdriver if my metal is thin enough, which I'm pretty sure this would be, or of course you can just use a drill. So as you can see here, we have this really clean line that our paper follows around our tin. And sometimes when you apply painter's tape onto non-porous objects, you run the risk of the paint pulling off. And so that's the great thing about this multi-surface Folkart paint, is that you don't run into that problem. It's not like regular acrylic paint if you were to paint it on glass or porcelain or metal. But really in this craft, we can skip the taping step altogether because our paper is going to hide our line. So it's going to have a sharp line just because, it's not going to show the line. Craft smarter, not harder. So the good thing about this tin can is it has a lot of ridges, and so that's going to be a great guide for us to make really straight lines. So I'm going to go around and paint the bottom part right where my first ridge occurs. I'm going to paint that with our orange color, and this is available at Michael's, of course, and we're going to use Folkart Pure Orange Multi-Surface. I'm going to paint that on really quick. And see how I'm kind of going over my first ridge? That's fine because you're not going to see it. And to avoid brush strokes when I'm using multi-surface paint, instead of like painting like this, up and down, I like to have really long brush strokes, and that really lessens the appearance of brush strokes on my non-porous surface. So go like that, and then come back around and get rid of those brush stroke marks.
So someone's asking about Mod Podge Ultra, and we're not using that, I don't think, today. We're using Mod Podge Outdoor, but Mod Podge Ultra is a pump spray, so it's not an aerosol, which is great. And it comes in two different finishes. There is a gloss and a matte, and it is a glue finish sealer all in one. So it does everything that you need it to do, just like regular Mod Podge, but it is in a spray, which eliminates brush strokes. And it is also non-tacky when it dries. So it's a really great product in the Mod Podge family.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna dry this guy really quick. All right, you guys, that's dry enough to move on to our next step. I'm just gonna lay my paper towels here so this doesn't roll around when I'm Mod Podging. As you can see, we have this really cute little piece of paper that is saying bloom across our tin can. And this is the paper pack we used if you are in love with all these papers from this project. So this, of course, is available at Michael's. It is the Fabulousness paper pack, super cute. And we're gonna obviously pick out the motif that we want to cut out. And I like this page, and I like that it has, you know, long phrases, long patterns that I can wrap around my can. And I'm just going to go ahead and take my scissors and cut out one of these phrases. Okay, so now the fun part, we get to break out our Mod Podge Outdoor. So the great thing about Mod Podge Outdoor is that it is still water-based, just like Mod Podge, and it's non-toxic, but it is able to be placed outdoors. So like, you know, of course, we're doing these pots right now. Once we apply this Mod Podge Outdoor, we will be able to put them outdoor, and they, you know, will withstand the weather outside. And also the great thing, of course, is that it acts just like regular Mod Podge. So, you know, there's not a learning curve if you're already an avid Mod Podge user, and now you get to put all of your beautiful Mod Podge projects outside.
Yep, you could absolutely, somebody said use old greeting cards to Mod Podge. That'd be awesome. And washi tape would be great also. And you could just seal the washi tape with the Mod Podge Outdoor to make sure that it sticks and it's protected. Those are great ideas.
Great ideas. And just like regular Mod Podge Outdoor dries clear. So once you get your Mod Podge Outdoor, it is a little bit thicker than we're used to with our normal Mod Podge, but that's totally normal, and it's going to dry clear. So we're just kind of following where our pink meets our orange, because that's where I want to put down our piece of paper. And now we're going to start back here, and we're going to follow our ridges, and that's going to let us know where our straight line falls on our tin can. And now I'm going to apply a little bit of our Mod Podge Outdoor on that piece of paper there, the end of our paper, just to seal it up. Adorable. Trim the end. And look how cute. So like I said, the Mod Podge is going to dry clear. And then once this dries, and it's already sticking so well, once this dries, I'm going to apply another coat of my Mod Podge Outdoor, just obviously to seal it so that I'm able to put my projects outside. So just keep that in mind. I would show you guys, but we need to wait for this to dry first. All right, let's move on to our next pot. I'm really excited to show you guys this one. I have a neat little trick for making patterns around terracotta pots. If you've ever used fabric or paper, whatever your preferred textile for Mod Podging is, then I'm gonna show you a really great tip to make patterns for your really any 3D object. So this is our pattern, and I'm gonna show you guys how I got there. So right here is our terracotta pot that we got from Michael's. And all you need to make this pattern is cling wrap, plastic wrap, and some painter's tape. So if you guys don't know what a pattern is, it is just, you know, people use patterns for sewing clothing. It is just the shape of whatever you're trying to cut. See? And it'll fit perfectly. So we want to turn that 3D shape into a 2D shape in order to cut our 2D surface. And in this case, it's fabric. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get our cling wrap, and we're going to wrap it around the bottom part of our terracotta pot. Oops. I'm always like so messy when I use cling wrap. I'm so fidgety. Okay. And we're just going to wrap it just around here, maybe a couple times. And we're not really worried about making a clean line with our cling wrap because we can use our tape to do that. And you just want to make sure that you get your cling wrap nice and tight to your pot. Okay, we're not having to be super precise about it. Maybe one more piece. This is actually a tip I got from one of our content creators here in the Plaid studio, Jessie. She works really closely with our effects paint line, which is a paint that is formulated to go onto EVA foam that a lot of people use for cosplay. And she does a couple of cosplays inside of work and outside of work. And by the way, FX paint is super awesome if you're a cosplayer, and it's available at Michael's. But when she makes her cosplays, she uses this technique to make patterns for her costumes. So she'll cling wrap around her arm or her torso, and then tape on top of that cling wrap, whatever she's trying to get a pattern for. And then she's able to mimic that pattern with her EVA foam. So thanks, Jessie, for this tip that we're translating from cosplay into our terracotta pot crafts. So what I'm doing now is I'm just making a straight line with this tape, and I'm going around my terracotta pot right below the lip of the pot. And we want it to be tight because we want it to be flush to the surface of our pot because we want the exact shape of our pot, obviously. And we're just going to keep going around. And we're holding that taut. We're kind of squeezing it as we go to make sure that it's really flush to our surface. Okay, and now since we've come to the end of our terracotta pot, we want to make another straight line, just like we did at the start of our pot, around the lip of our pot. So just be mindful that your line is pretty straight, and then trim it off. Give it a good little squeeze. Okay, now we can just cut it right off of our pot, and then we'll have a really cool pattern, you guys.
I have to say, Gus the puppy is doing much better, everyone. Thank you for asking.
I love that you're all so involved in Gus's well-being.
Yeah. So Gus's puppy is good. Gus the puppy is good.
That's awesome. Okay, you guys, so now we would just trim our cling wrap and we're left with this pattern. And so now we are able to take out our fabric. And like I said, you guys, we're recreating this. And this is just a bandana that we got at Michael's from the party section. So that's really the best part of this craft in particular, is that you get to be super creative with whatever kind of papers and fabrics, whatever you like. Okay, now make some space for my fabric. We're gonna flip this bad boy over. And oops, got a little bit of paint on my surface. I'll clean that up. Okay. And now we're just going to go ahead and trace with a pencil.
Oh, everybody's saying that, you know, it's so fortunate, unfortunate that what's going on with the pandemic, but people do have time to craft. So
Yeah. Yeah, I love that people have really been able to kind of find a brighter side to all of this and become passionate about a hobby that maybe they've always been wanting to try, or they've, you know, gotten away from, and they're able to get back to it and kind of find little pockets of happiness.
yeah, I love that.
And we're just cutting out what we just traced.
And we've got a couple garden projects coming up. Some like garden sticks, garden markers. So those are coming up. We've got a really cute bird feeder made out of terracotta pots. So that's coming up in the next couple of weeks.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Kira, because all three of these, this one included, all three of these garden projects coordinate with each other. They're color coordinating. So you can just buy this one paper pack and then you're able to tune into all three of these Michael's classes. Really, you just need the paper pack and the Podge Outdoor. Those are the essentials. And then you'll be able to tune into all three of these classes and follow along with us, and then have some really cute color coordinating projects at the end. So make sure you tune in. And of course, like Kira said, we're doing a giveaway at the end of this video, and we'll also be doing a giveaway at the end of those two videos too. So under the community classrooms page at michaels.com, we have some really awesome garden crafts. So make sure you sign up for those.
Oh, cute.
All right, so we just want to fold this up so we can use it later, of course. And now we're going to take our pot. And what I like to do before I break out my Mod Podge, I just want to double check that this fits my pot. And it does. Perfect. So now we get into our Mod Podge. And we're just going to go straight onto our pot with our Mod Podge. And we're going to apply it generously. And the key is just to make sure that you get it onto every single little bit of your pot that you want your fabric adhered to. And I've noticed that our Mod Podge Outdoor definitely has a longer open time, a longer dry time than regular Mod Podge. So I like to be a little bit more liberal with my application of my Mod Podge because I don't have to worry about it drying as quickly as normal Mod Podge. Okay, I'm just placing that down and I'm going around and I'm following the bottom of my pot. And I just want to hold my fabric really taut so that I don't get any air bubbles. And then, I don't know if you tuned in for our journal class a little while ago on Michael's. If you didn't, it's on their YouTube page. It's a really awesome class where we teach you how to make a custom journal. Talked about in that class, when you are what's the word? When you're just smoothing out your paper or your fabric or your napkin, you want to keep your finger going one way, or if you're using a brayer, because if I were to start flattening it going this way and then change directions and then start going that way, I would trap the air under the whatever I'm trying to Mod Podge down. And we don't want that. We don't want any air pockets. So just be mindful of that. So now we're going to apply a little bit more Mod Podge. And smooth it out. And there you go. And it perfectly fits to our terracotta pot because we made that pattern in the beginning. So I hope you guys like that tip. All righty. Now on to our last thing, this beautiful paint bucket. So as you can see, there's a lot of beautiful flowers on this bucket. And all we did is we just cut out those flower shapes from our paper pack, as opposed to, you know, cutting a big piece of fabric or that long line of paper that we did earlier. We're just going to cut out small flowers. So we're going to find a good flower page.
So you could use, like you said, fabric, scrapbook paper, or you could also use napkins.
Yeah.
Oh, wrapping paper is good too. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I love that, wrapping paper. I love using napkins in my Mod Podge projects. It is super beginner friendly because if your napkin does wrinkle up a little bit, it's kind of harder to see as opposed to using, you know, having fabric or paper wrinkle up.
Yep.
It has your mistakes.
Yep, someone said they've already used Mod Podge on a metal trash can. You can always apply outdoor on top of it to protect it, absolutely.
Yeah, or Ultra, whatever.
Yep. So the thing about using tissue paper, like gift wrap tissue paper, sometimes the color can bleed with the Mod Podge. It's the nature of the tissue paper. The ink will bleed when it gets wet, and since Mod Podge is essentially a liquid, it's wet. It could cause bleeding. So I would stick to wrapping paper, cardstock, fabric, napkins, but yarn would work, absolutely. But traditional, like gift wrap tissue paper, we have had it bleed on us, and I would hate that for you.
And I feel like a great alternative to the tissue paper is napkins, because it's kind of the same consistency, so.
Yep. Yeah, but it just has that, you know, napkins can get wet and they don't bleed, so.
Exactly.
Yep. We have ruined many a project with tissue paper.
Yeah, totally. So learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. You could use stickers. You could put the sticker on and then Mod Podge over it. You know, even vinyl. And then you could Mod Podge over it. That's a great sealer. You know?
Yeah, I love what you were saying with the washi tape earlier, Kira. That was a great idea.
Yeah, that was not my idea. I stole that from comments.
Well, you guys are super creative.
Yeah, no, it's great.
So last thing I just want to show you guys, you just cut out all your cute little flower shapes. I kind of like to just cut them all out in the beginning so I have to worry about one thing at a time and I don't have to keep, you know, worrying about my brush getting dry. So cut out all your flower shapes. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm a mess.
Emma, you're falling apart on Friday.
I know. And I sound like a cartoon because I'm like knocking into tin cans. Okay. So I just want to dry my brush, of course, before I re-dip it in my Mod Podge. Apply some to my brush. And just like we did with our terracotta pot, we're going to apply our Mod Podge straight onto our surface and not the paper or the fabric. Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at our schedule while you're doing that. So just to tell you guys, if you want to join us. So on Monday, we've got Andy Jones, who's going to be teaching a painting for Paint Night Live. So that's Monday. And then we have another Mod Podge class next week, which is, I believe, next Friday, same time. And we're going to be doing more of these fun outdoor garden projects. So definitely want to sign up if you haven't already.
Absolutely. So I just applied my little applique to my Mod Podge, and then I'd wait for it to dry, and then I'd give it another generous coat of Mod Podge on top. And before we end the class, you guys, I just want to show you, so as you can see, there are some finer details on this bucket that are not made from the paper. We painted those on with our Folkart multi-surface. So I'm just going to show you guys just a couple of these little additives that we gave to our pot, just if you want to do that at home. So like I said in the beginning, the Folkart multi-surface colors that we used for this are pure orange, magenta, wicker white, and eggplant. So let's break out our eggplant.
And I know that Michael sells these cans, so whether you're upcycling or I know they have these cans like in their party section, so you could, you know, do either one. Two great options. And this would be really cute for a gift. If you use this as like a gift bag or basket, you could fill this full of garden supplies, or for Mother's Day or for Easter, this would be really cute to give as a gift.
It's a great idea.
It's a good leave on the porch, a present, and then leave kind of thing. That would work well.
Totally. Okay, so I just applied some eggplant to my brush, and then I offloaded it a little bit onto my palette. And if you don't know, offloading means I just removed a little bit of my paint off from my brush because I had too much paint on my brush. And now what I'm gonna do is I'd like to just, whenever I'm painting on a 3D surface, I like to get a good grip on it so that it doesn't fall and I don't get a weird paint mark, brush mark. So I like to just be mindful and note in my head where I want my line to go. So I'm going to start at the base of my flower, and I'm going to go outward, and I want to keep a smooth, straight line. And we're going to go over there again, maybe picking up a little bit more paint. And there we go. We get our straight line. And now I just want to branch off from there. And I like to start from my line and move outwards.
Ooh, cookie tins are a good idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yep, and fill them for Valentine's Day. Yeah, this is great for Valentine's Day too.
Yeah. And now, as you can see, I'm trying to make this little orange bud guy. I'm going to use the end of my brush, and I'm going to pick up my magenta, and I'm going to dip the end of my brush, you heard me right, into my magenta, and that's kind of act as my paintbrush. And I'm just going to dot. And a tip, you can kind of swirl the end of your paintbrush to make your dot a little bit bigger. And I first want to go at all the ends of my little branches that we just painted on there. And then I like to see, where do I want more of that magenta color? And I'm just going to go and fill in. And there you go. You just want to paint, you know, really simplistic, cute little shapes on the, you know, coming out of your flowers, just to make it a little bit more personal, a little bit more you. And then you have that really cute little painted pot.
Love that.
Yeah, so I think that's it, Kira.
Okay. Well, awesome. If we don't have somebody ask about postcards, postcards are a great thing. Someone said greeting cards earlier also. So those are all great things. You could even use photos. So if you really wanted to personalize, you could do pictures of your animals, pictures of your grandkids, your kids, your family. So that would be a really cute idea also.
Yeah, absolutely. The opportunities are really endless. Like you can Mod Podge a lot of different things and make it as personal as you want. And like Kira said, this makes a really, really awesome gift, especially nowadays to drop off on someone's doorstep, a little goodie bag, or, you know, a planted pot. People are really getting into gardening these days, indoor gardening and outdoor gardening. So this is a really versatile craft for you to do at home.
Okay. Well, if anyone
All right,
has questions. You good, Emma?
Yeah, we're good. Do you want to pick a winner, Kira?
Yeah. Yeah, let me scroll here.
Okay. I'll give you a drum roll.
I know. I butcher names though. It always scares me when I pick one. I'm like, what am I going to say that? All right. Isabella Marini, Marini, like Martini. You're welcome. So Isabel, go to Plaid Crafts Facebook page. Oh, I can see her writing. Plaid Crafts Facebook page and direct message us and let them know your name and your shipping address and that you won on a Michael's class. And they will send you out some product.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have Facebook. Okay. Can you private message me right now before we hang up? And you should join Facebook and join Plaid Crafts and Michael's.
Yes, absolutely. We have, if you guys don't know, if you aren't a part of our Facebook page, go to Plaid Crafts on Facebook. We have some really awesome tutorials, some extra paint nights, some just really great ideas and inspiration. So if you have a Facebook and you're not following us on already, make sure to go to our Plaid Crafts Facebook. Yep. And you guys, if you try this project at home and you decide to post it on social media because you love it so much, make sure to hashtag Plaid Crafts and or hashtag Make It With Michaels. We would love to see what you're crafting at home with some of our Folkart and our Mod Podge products. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to take a picture of that. Perfect. Isabel, I got it.
Awesome.
All right. And then there were two quick questions. I don't want to leave people hanging. The can what color was the can when you started, Emma?
It was just metal, and it is an Art Minds surface, and it's available at Michael's, of course. Here's the label. It's just Art Minds tin can, yeah.
Perfect. The paint can, and then, so that was white. Oh. And then, the paint can, what color was that?
Oh, sorry, that's metal too. So yeah, it's totally metal. Like if you can see the inside rim.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also they have some cool clear ones too you could Mod Podge on because Mod Podge dries clear, so you can do some fun things with clear. And yes, you want to seal over top of your fabric with the Mod Podge.
Yes. So I wanted to seal after these projects dry, I'm going to seal them again with my Mod Podge Outdoor just to keep them safe in the outdoors.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. We will be back Monday and next Friday. Please join us. We'll be doing giveaways, sign up for classes. Thank you all. Have a great, safe weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.